Hey, what's going on, YT? It's your girl Leah Ray, and you're tuned into the Leah Ray Show. So, um, I was supposed to have another video uploaded for you today, but of course, something went kind of wonky with my internet, and the stupid video would not upload. It was taking it had like a 3 hour upload time, but it wasn't even that deep. Like the video was literally probably like 7 minutes long. So, I just said, let me get on here and tell you about the time I was set up by my homegirls. Oh my gosh. So it was like 1995. Yes, 1995. Okay, I'm talking about when I was like 12 or 13. Now, you may be thinking, oh, this is kid stuff. But when you hear this, you're going to be like, oh, this is real stuff. And you're going to understand why I remember this to this day. But anyway, I had a friend that lived down the street from me, a few houses down. We're going to call her Sally. And Sally was friends with two girls who lived across the field. Now, I stayed in the subdivision. Well, we stayed in the subdivision, but there was like an open lot in front of us. It was huge. You could build like an entire apartment complex on top of it if you wanted to. But across that lot and on the other side was actually an apartment complex. And she had a friend, two friends. I think both of them stayed there, but we'll call one of the friends Chantel. We'll call the other friend Tony. And they stayed out there. So by association, I was friends with them too. And I remember like Chantel was like a non-factor, but Tony was it like immediately became the leader of our group. She was the most mature. She kind of was like a girl group, R&B girl group, like an SWV. She had that whole vibe. She had the hair, she had the nails, she had the clothes, she had the purse. So she was like that girl. And I remember one thing I remember about her was that she had the longest nails I had ever saw, like in person. And like thinking back now, I'm like, what parent in their right mind would let this girl who's like a 7th or 8th grader get their nails like dumb long? And when I tell you they were dumb long, they were dumb long. That's why I'm thinking of like SWV, because remember the girl who had the super long nails? Now, I don't think her nails were that long, but that's what they reminded me of. So she had that. She used to wear like lipstick and stuff like that. And I remember being at lunch one day, and it was the four of us, and we were sitting at like the lunch tables, and she was telling us about her boyfriend. And I want to say his name started with an R, but I can't remember it, but we're gonna call him Quan. So she was telling us about Quan, and I know for a fact Quan was in the 8th grade. And she was kind of describing or telling us what her and Quan's dilemma was and where they were trying to take their relationship, which was actually mind-blowing to me, because I was very much so like a 12 or 13-year-old child still playing with Barbies. So I was just like, oh my gosh, she's so advanced, right? But that's one of the things I remember about Tony. But I remember like just being around her more and more. I started to change my perception about her back then, and she was cool and everything, but I started to feel like she was kind of like a bragger. Like she used to brag about the things she had, and she was kind of like conceited or whatever. I remember she put us on to Adina Howard. Okay, that's where she was going in her life. Okay. Oh, and I saw her on Facebook a couple of years ago. It's just funny. But anyway, yeah, so she put us on Adina Howard. I had never heard of no Adina Howard. We weren't even allowed to listen to R. Kelly in my house back in the day, so daggone for sure couldn't listen to Adina Howard. But yeah, so I remember it was me and Chantel and what did I say I was gonna call my friend down the street? Sally. We were playing some kind of board game, and I don't remember what it was or where we were exactly. I knew we were by somebody's house, and I want to say we were by Sally's house, and Tony wasn't there. It was some kind of like truth or dare game, but it wasn't truth or dare. And it was my turn, and I remember that Chantel asked me a truth question, and it had something to do with like, how do you feel about Tony, or what do you generally think about Tony? I think she just read it off of a card, and me being my little naive self, I just told the truth, and I was like, they were like, tell a secret about her or something like that. It was something like that. And I didn't have any secrets about her because I didn't talk to her outside of the group. So I just said what I was thinking. I was like, she's kind of conceited or whatever. So that was that, or so I thought, right? But anyway, let's fast forward a little bit. So this must be like a few days later. It had to be within like 48 hours, because when I tell you, this happens so fast. So I'm at home, and I don't know how I'm at home or whatever. You know what? I almost think this was the same day. It was crazy. And there's like a knock on the door, and I think I went to the door, or my mom told me somebody was at the door or whatever. And it's Chantel, and Chantel don't never come by my house. So she told me to come outside or whatever. So I was like, okay. And I didn't think nothing of it. And when I walked outside, it was like 15 people outside. Okay. And there was Tony standing at like the bottom of my driveway. So I must have been brave or something, because I should have took my tail back in the house and realized. I mean, in that moment, I had realized they had set me up, but I didn't really know what a setup was. I didn't know what was going on. Okay, because this is how 12 or 13 I am. Okay, like Barbies, like that's where I was. Okay, so I walk outside, and Tony's like, yeah, I heard you had something to say about me. I was like, what? Like, I didn't know what she was talking about. She was like, yeah, y'all were playing some game and you had something to say. You said that I was conceited or something. So me, I'm like, oh, yeah. And then she was like, well, if you want to fight, we can fight right now. So now, mind you, it's like 15 people out there. So she done brought a whole entourage. I don't even know who these people are. Like, they have literally come to see a fight. And I'm just like, what? Like, no. Like, I'm not about to fight you. And she was really ready to fight me. It was crazy. And I just could not believe in that moment. Like, I guess it really, I don't know. Maybe I was a little like, excuse me, I was a little airy or something, because I was just like, no, she didn't like tell me to come outside to kind of set me up. But it didn't even really dawn on me like until I was an adult of how they did me. And Sally didn't have nothing to do with it though. It was just all Chantel. And I was like, nah, I don't want to fight. And then once I was like, nah, I don't want to fight, like, I think Tony kind of cussed me out or something like that. It wasn't like a hard cuss out, but I do remember a few cuss words. And then she kind of like left. And I want to say that was the end of our friendship, but I'm not 100% sure, because that's literally one of two things that I remember about her. The time she was three things. When she put us on Adina Howard, when she was telling us about her boyfriend and their relationship, and then this, like, that's it. So I don't know, looking back as a kid, like looking back on our kid lives, it was probably a good idea that me and Tony did not remain friends. But like, you know, kids will be kids at the same time. I'm talking about in that time. I'm actually I was actually friends with her on Facebook. And, you know, everybody's an adult now. It's just crazy to look at her and I'd be like, girl, I remember when you set me up. But I didn't ever bring it up to her or anything like that. But it just looks crazy to see somebody from so many years ago that did you dirty so many years ago on Facebook. You know what I'm saying? So I guess I was wrong, because I should have never said she was conceited. Like, of course, in my adult years, I would not just go and say that about somebody that I'm cool with to like another member of the crew, because that would be like super messy. And if I wanted to say that to them, I'm an adult now, so I would just tell them to their face, like, you know, you mad cocky, right? Because that's how you handle things when you're an adult. But that was well, I guess that's how you handle things. Some people don't handle things like that. Some people are still messy, but yeah, it was crazy. But I got like a few other stories that come out of that era in my life, because I had different friend groups. I had that friend group, and then I had another friend, and I can't think of her name, but I remember she was a bright-skinned girl that was like a tomboy like me. And then I had my best friend, which I'm still friends with her on Facebook to this day. So I had like 3 groups of friends going at one time. And then, like, that was when I got my first boyfriend, and it just got crazy. It just got crazy in that year. That was like 1994 to 1995. It just was crazy. So I think I'm gonna come on here and do some more story times about that. But yeah, so they set me up. I guess I should be glad that I didn't get like into a fight, because that would have been crazy. I would have like beat the brakes off that girl, because let me tell you something, I really believe like I have like a hint of psycho in me. And I was like really quiet then, kind of like the way I was like that for like years and years of my life. And she was, you know, she was trying to put on the show, but see, you know, I wasn't wrapped too tight back then, so I probably would have like drug her. So it's probably glad that we didn't, you know, a good thing that we didn't fight, but it was just crazy. Anyway, leave in the comment section below, have you ever been set up like that, to that magnitude, or even something small? And be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed this story time. And sorry about the video issue, y'all. It is what it is. But be sure to subscribe to my channel if you're not already. And give this video a thumbs up. Share. And until next time, people, peace.